Get started. Thank you for those of you who have joined us for you this evening. For Carmen and myself, we are over on the East Coast of the United States, so it is morning time here. So we really appreciate you joining us at such a late hour where you're located. So thank you very much. So let us begin. We want to share today some information about CAMX, which is the Composites and Advanced Materials Expo. It is scheduled to take place this coming fall, October 17th through the 20th, 2022. As you can see, this is kind of an informational webinar for you so that you can learn a little bit more about CAMX, what the event is about, learn about the opportunities that are afforded to you by CAMX. CAMX really is more than just the booth space. There are so many different things and opportunities and activities that take place at CAMX aside from just exhibiting with a booth space. As you can see, the next 3 CAMX events are already scheduled. As I mentioned, we will be in Anaheim, California this fall, October 2022. And then next year and the following year, we'll be in the fall again. We will be in Atlanta, Georgia, and San Diego, California. I'd like to quickly introduce myself and my role with CAMX. My name is John Catapano. I am the Composites. I work for the Composites and Advanced Materials Expo. I am the Business Development Manager. I joined CAMX a little over 3 years ago in April 2019, but I do have a lot of experience in business development and marketing, nearly 2 decades of experience. And my role as Business Development Manager with CAMX is really focusing on strategic planning and working with all sorts of companies across many market segments in both composites and advanced materials. Around the globe. I'd say I've worked with companies in 50 different countries at this point. And really, my role is to elevate their business development and marketing efforts. One second, I need to let some people in here. My apologies.
John, I'll monitor and let them in.
Oh, okay, got it. So, my role here is to help elevate their business development and marketing efforts. And that is done through, connecting them with buyers at CAMX and through other year-round activities. CAMX, past, present, and future. So just to give you an idea, CAMX is the largest and most influential composites and materials exposition in North America. If you've never been to CAMX, but you've been to, say, JEC in Paris, which just took place last week, think of CAMX as very similar to JEC in terms of exhibiting and the presentations and the education and the network opportunities that occur there. However, CAMX takes place in North America. JEC takes place in Paris every year. We are closely approaching our 10th year anniversary. CAMX was established in 2014, and it is co-owned and co-produced by 2 organizations. The first one is the ACMA, which stands for the American Composites Manufacturing Association. And then our partner in organizing this event is SAMPE, the Society for the Advancement of Materials and Process Engineering. CAMX typically rotates U.S. cities. So while JEC is in Paris every year, we tend to go in different time zones within the United States each year. So over the last 8 years, we've been rotating our show in Anaheim, California, Orlando, Florida, and Dallas, Texas. However, we now are adding 2 new cities to our rotation. And as I mentioned, in 2023, we will be in Atlanta, Georgia. And in 2024, we will be in San Diego, California. CAMX, what the industry is saying. So, each year we bring in about 8,000 attendees, 500 plus exhibitors. We have several hundred educational sessions and live demonstrations and 2 different award ceremonies at CAMX. I wanted to show you this. 2 of our exhibitors and sponsors who are at CAMX every year, Interplastic, if you've heard of them, and Composites One. I just wanted to show you 2 testimonials. They have been coming to CAMX since the beginning, have been very successful at CAMX, and that's what brings them back year in and year out. So I'll just give you like 15 seconds here to kind of review these testimonials and show, it shows, you know, how impressed and how well CAMX works for them and their business each year. This is always an important question that potential exhibitors ask us is, you know, who's in the exhibit hall? Who's attending? What types of roles, you know, are people walking around the exhibit hall floor? What types of market segments are at CAMX? So these graphics pretty much give you a summary of who is attending CAMX and the types of roles. As you can see, the majority of attendees at CAMX walking the exhibit hall are either in sales or marketing. They're buyers, they're executive level, presidents, CEOs, owners of composites and advanced materials companies, research and development, and general management. And then on the flip side, then the market segments, we see, although aerospace, you know, is heavily attended at CAMX, there are over 40 different market segments that are represented at CAMX every year. I just provided a list of, you know, some of the top market segments, but there are many more that do come to CAMX every year. Some of the top ones are, like I mentioned, aerospace, automotive is heavily represented, construction, infrastructure, and marine are all very well represented at CAMX, whether they're just attendees or exhibitors. Does anyone have any questions at this point? At the end of the webinar, we are going to take questions, but if there's anything you want to ask for the few slides that I've provided so far, please let me know. And you can always use the chat function to type in some questions as well that we can address during the webinar or after. Okay, CAMX. Why exhibit? So there are many reasons why companies come to exhibit and have been exhibiting since the beginning or exhibiting year in and year out, whether they started from the beginning or they started maybe a few years ago. CAMX, the exhibit hall, it's a one-stop shop marketplace for the composites and materials companies that are ready to do business. Our exhibitors, they know when they have a booth space, whether it's a 10 by 10 or a 40 by 40, they're going to get in front of decision makers. They're going to be able to build their brand. They're going to be able to boost their global industry perception. And what's very important is, you know, increasing their market share in North America. If you as a company that is located in India, that might be very important to you, increasing your market share or, you know, launching your market share in North America if you're not doing any business on this part of the world. Being an exhibitor gives you the opportunity when an attendee walks up to your booth to tell your story. Let people know how you got your business started. What do you do? What kind of products do you offer? What kind of innovations have you launched, you know, over the last couple of years? You will have the ability to conduct presentations and demonstrations, whether it be on the exhibit hall floor or in the future, perhaps submitting an abstract so that you can put on a technical presentation as part of the conference programming. Exhibitors are always looking to build trust with attendees. So while they're in their booth space, they have the opportunity to showcase their expertise and their thought leadership, which always builds trust. And then probably the most important thing that exhibitors want to do while they're at CAMX, they want to make new connections. That can be done in the exhibit hall, but not just there. CAMX offers a variety of receptions, whether it be the welcome reception or the market segment reception. There are also exhibitors that host their own receptions off-site and on-site. And then there's always plenty of CAMX after parties that take place after the exhibit hall closes, and then maybe after the welcome reception and the market segment reception. Okay, so for this year, Dr. Singh and I started speaking about 2 months ago and discussing, you know, the benefits of CAMX, whether it be attending CAMX or exhibiting at CAMX. And so CAMX and CECA have formed a partnership, and we have constructed a pavilion on the exhibit hall floor. As you can see, it is located in Hall C. As of right now, currently constructed, it is meant for 10 by 10 booth spaces or 3 by 3 meters, although we can increase the size of those booth spaces if needed. If there is interest and we do sell out all of those booth spaces, we do have the opportunity to expand the pavilion as well. It is located in a great section where there will be a lot of traffic. I'm going to go ahead and give you a better view. Here is the India Pavilion right here, and it is kind of sandwiched in between our annual ACE Awards and CAMX Park Place, which generates a lot of attendee traffic on the show floor. Exhibitor benefits. So once you secure your booth space, the exhibitors always ask, well, what's next? What do I get besides the booth space? So there's plenty of exhibitor benefits. On the left side, as you can see, as an exhibitor, depending on your booth space and your investment, you will receive complimentary exhibit hall passes that give you access, obviously, to the exhibit hall. You'll get access to the opening general session with our keynote speaker, and you'll get access to the welcome reception. Typically for a 10 by 10 booth space or 3 by 3 meters, you will get 5 badges for your exhibitor personnel. 10 by 20, you will get 8 badges for your exhibitor personnel. We also conduct webinars. We actually conducted one this week to kind of help our exhibitors along the way. There's a lot of planning that goes on and a lot of juggling of responsibilities that you need to do before you get to CAMX and actually represent your booth. So these webinars are designed to kind of give you a checklist and let you know the things that you need to do as part of trade show logistics or exhibitor marketing. Now, if you do sign up to be an exhibitor, you will have access to the past webinars that we've already conducted. They will be located in your exhibitor dashboard. And then over the next few months, we will be marketing future webinars that you can join in and learn about different things that you need to know as an exhibitor. Also on the show floor, there is an exhibitor-only lounge area. So what that means is that you could come in. There are free meeting rooms there, so you can have some, impromptu meetings. You can sit down with potential customers. It's good for networking. I believe we're going to have coffee this year at the exhibitor lounge, so come in, have some coffee. And that also is the location where myself and my colleague Efren Pavone, who works for Stampy, we will be in there in the CAMX 23 sales offices. So what that means is while you're exhibiting at CAMX 22, if there is interest in renewing your booth space and joining us in Atlanta next year, you will be able to take a look at the live floor plan for the Atlanta show and actually pick a booth space for that show well before many other people do. Also, can I ask if you're not on mute to put yourself on mute? Thank you. And then lastly, part of the exhibitor benefits, not only will your company listing appear on the online floor plan, the mobile app, and other forms, but we also have this amazing partner marketing dashboard. We partnered with a company called Feather that is going to allow you to market your presence as an exhibitor through a variety of ways through the Feather program, but it also will allow you to invite your customers and prospects at no cost to CAMX. So they can attend and visit the exhibit hall at no cost, and that's unlimited. You can invite 100, 200, 500 people. The more the merrier. We love to see more attendees join us at CAMX every year. Any questions about the CAMX exhibitor benefits? Okay, let's talk about the actual booth spaces that I showed you in the India Pavilion. As of right now, as you saw on the live floor plan, it's currently constructed with 10 by booth spaces or 3 by 3 meter booth spaces. The cost for that in US dollars is $3,600. Now, there are physical booth packages that I'm going to show you in another slide, but they are sold separately. If you need a larger booth space, we can combine two 10 by 10 booth spaces to give you basically 200 square feet or 3 by 6 meters. That would be $7,200 in $7,200 in US dollars. And again, the physical booth package would be sold separately. And here are the physical booth packages. So these are optional turnkey solutions to furnish your booth space. They are sold through CAMX, and they come in 10 by 10 or 10 by 20, basic and hard wall. It is optional. You can go through another vendor, such as Freeman, who is our official show contractor. These are very turnkey, so they're not very customizable, but they are an easy way to get your booth furnished and set up. If you're looking for more customization, then I would recommend going through Freeman. As an exhibitor, once you're set up with your booth space, you will have what's known as an exhibitor dashboard, and that's where you'll be able to view the Freeman catalog that has all of the different customized options for like tables and chairs, carpeting, audio, video, electricity, and so forth. So as you can see, the 10 by 10 basic is $699 in US dollars. The 10 by 20 basic is $1398 in US dollars. However, there are some upgraded packages. They're considered the hard wall exhibit packages, $1,975 in US dollars for a 10 by 10 and $3,075 for a 10 by 20 hard wall. So once you have your booth space, there is a grand opportunity to boost your visibility. How this is done? Through sponsorships. So as you can see, there are 4 key areas of why you should invest in a sponsorship to boost your visibility and your presence at CAMX. Sponsorships, they put your brand front and center. They're going to increase your visibility and recognition at CAMX. Sponsorships also strengthen your attendee perception. For example, if an attendee walks into the convention center, the first thing they're going to see is on the concourse is the registration area. Behind the registration area is an opportunity to put a banner. They're very significant in size, but it's also going to let people know who you are and that you're at CAMX as a sponsor, and that's going to drive traffic to your booth space. It's going to increase, your brand awareness and the opportunity for lead generation with attendees. And it's going to give you a more robust return on your investment. There are different types of sponsorships that can either be fulfilled before CAMX or during CAMX, and they are all listed on the exhibitor and sponsorship prospectus. You will receive this presentation. We're going to be sending this out, and there is a link to the prospectus, as you can see. I believe it's pages 7, 8, and 9 that give you all of the different opportunities for sponsorships and all of the additional benefits that come when you do invest in specific sponsorship items. As you can see, there are on-site, such as signage within the exhibit hall. There are digital marketing sponsorships and also educational sponsorships. So as of this morning here, it is 157 days until CAMX 22 Anaheim. That may seem like a lot, but it really isn't. Summer goes by very quickly. It'll be fall before you know it, and CAMX will be here. So if you'd like, more information, if you'd like to discuss maybe a little bit more in depth than this introductory webinar about CAMX, I would be happy to schedule a private conversation with you to discuss CAMX, to get more deeper into the benefits of being an exhibitor, answer any questions you might have. There are 6 links available to you here. The CAMX homepage, which has tons of information on the website, the prospectus, the live floor plan. If you're interested in knowing, who is exhibiting at CAMX right now, we are constantly updating that list in real time. We currently have about 350 exhibitors. We are trending towards 500 exhibitors again. There is a link to the online application, which will allow you to fill out all of your information about your company contacts. It will allow you to select a booth space and purchase one of those physical booth packages if you'd like. And there is my contact information. You can always email me at jcatapano@acmanet.org, or if you'd like, you can call my mobile number, the American number 703-795-7271. Well, thank you very much for joining me today so that I could teach you a little bit more about CAMX. I would love, if you have questions, please feel free to ask now.
Hey, John, a couple of questions came in via chat.
Okay.
One was, do we have a country-wide breakup of visitors and attendees?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And yes,
yeah. That is an excellent question. Forgive me for not including that in the slides, but we do have a breakdown of both attendees and exhibitors. At a high level, typically at CAMX, we see about a 3-to-1 ratio. So about 75% of the attendees are American citizens, and about 25% come from other parts of the world. And I do actually have a breakdown of every country, how many attendees, and the percentage of attendees. And I can do the same for exhibitors as well. You got another question, Carmen?
Yeah, there was one. When you say India Pavilion, how many stalls will fit in there?
So as of right now, we have the ability to fit 10 by 10, so basically 10 companies. With that said, there is additional space around the pavilion so that we will be able to expand it if we do get more than 10 companies.
Okay, and there was one other, are there any business conference where we'll have an opportunity to talk? I'm not sure if that's exactly the meeting rooms or, but that's what I'm assuming is the meeting rooms available.
So yeah, there are meeting rooms available. There are two options. There are paid meeting rooms within the convention center and at the nearby hotels. So if you've never been to the Anaheim Convention Center, there are two main hotels within walking distance. You can be on the balcony of your hotel room and see the convention center next door. So there is room there for meeting rooms on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I believe Monday before the exhibit hall opens. But then there are also within the exhibitor lounge, you do have the option to come to the exhibitor lounge and sit in one of the meeting rooms there, and that there's no cost attached to that. Those are more for like impromptu meetings. Was there a second part to that question, Carmen, about maybe presentations?
That's what I wasn't sure if that was
okay.
which they were getting at. So there is obviously the conference program.
Got it. I'll touch upon that real quickly, just so that you all know. There is an opportunity to present at CAMX every year. So there's two ways to go about that. The first one is through abstract submission so that you can be considered for the technical programming that takes place outside of the exhibit hall in conference rooms in the convention center. So typically we open up abstract submissions in December for the next show in the fall. And the process takes place over about a 90-day period where we accept these submissions. We always get more submissions than what we can actually approve. And then we usually award those companies sometime in the spring to let them know that their abstract has been submitted and they will be included in the conference programming and the agenda, which is marketed on the website, mobile app, on-site guide. The second option, or an alternative to the conference programming and submitting abstracts, is an exhibitor-only opportunity, and that's the CAMX Theater. Those are more loosely defined presentations. They can be more salesy in nature. And they take place on the exhibit hall in the CAMX Theater. With that said, it is considered a sponsorship. It is a paid presentation, but for the show in Anaheim, those slots have already sold out. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you do decide to exhibit in 2023 in Atlanta, we will offer that again. So you will be able to submit an abstract if you'd like, or you will, or you will be able to present a topic in the exhibit hall as a paid sponsorship. What else can I
mention the CAMX and ACE awards as well? Those submissions are still open through July.
Carmen, I know you have a lot more expertise on that, and my apologies here. I did not introduce my colleague. So Carmen Long is here with me. You've heard her voice a couple times during this webinar. Carmen is one of the 2 show directors at CAMX. She's been with CAMX since the beginning, since the inception. She has a wealth of knowledge. And for this particular topic, I'm going to allow her to provide her feedback on what is the ACE Awards and what are the CAMX Awards.
Great, thank you, John. So thanks again for joining us today, and we're excited about this opportunity to partner with CECA and having a new attendees and exhibitors with us at CAMX. So yeah, we have 2 awards pavilions. One is the CAMX Awards. One is the Awards for Composites Excellence. Both of those pavilions are on the show floor, and they highlight new and innovative technologies that are coming out. So if you or your company are working on any exciting projects or technologies that you're ready to reveal, they can be submitted to, you can submit to both the CAMX and ACE Awards for consideration. You don't have to choose. And the criteria for each are outlined on the website at thecamx.org under the awards tab. So you can check that out if you're interested. The submission date deadline is July 14th. So it is coming up, but you have about 2 months to still submit for that as an opportunity as well.
Thank you, Carmen. Are there any questions about those 2 different types of awards that we have every year at CAMX? Okay. Any other questions outside of those award ceremonies? Any questions about exhibiting, attending?
There was one last one that came in, John. It said last day of exhibitors registration. I'm wondering if it's a deadline for exhibitors to register.
Oh, okay. Honestly, as long as there's room on the exhibit hall floor, you can really sign up the day before CAMX. We've seen it before. I wouldn't recommend it, but there is an opportunity to sign up the day before. We currently are at 73% capacity. There are a lot of companies that either have not renewed yet or that I am talking to right now about securing their exhibit space. So we are trending towards selling out the exhibit hall. Now, you will have a dedicated area in the India Pavilion, but it is a finite number of booth spaces. So I would suggest that if you are looking to sign up to exhibit, do so sooner rather than later. But there is an opportunity up until the day before the show. Any other questions?
I haven't seen any others come in.
Okay. Well, here are the next steps. If you are interested in becoming an exhibitor or just attending CAMX, we are going to be sending this presentation. It has been recorded as well so that you can share it with your colleagues. You will get this presentation with all of the links. You can proactively sign up with the exhibitor application that you'll have. However, if you would like to have a more private, in-depth conversation with me to discuss CAMX, to discuss exhibiting, to discuss any topic that is involved CAMX, I will be happy to schedule a Teams call with you over the next few weeks so that you can make a more informed decision on what's the best way to go about your CAMX strategy, whether you want to walk the floor and get your feet wet a little bit with CAMX and see what it's all about, and maybe just making the decision to exhibit in Atlanta in 2023, or if you're ready to go and you just want to get some other questions answered before you sign off on that exhibitor application, for 2022, I'd be more than happy to schedule a private conversation. Dr. Singh, while we have you here, did you want to add anything before we close out the webinar?
Thank you so much, John. This is Prashant from CECA. I would like to thank all the attendees for joining us on such a very short notice. I would also like to thank you, John, for making this happen at a very short notice. And it was really great. I believe the attendees must have got a good amount of knowledge about CAMX. They have already been shared with the prospectors and everything. And I think now when they'll have this presentation, they'll have much more clear picture about CAMX, and it will help them take the decision of exhibiting at the Indian Pavilion. I believe it's more of a proud thing for us that for the first time at CAMX, there's going to be a pavilion specially for the Indian exhibitors. So
Yes.
really excited, and I really request all the attendees to see over it. You can share with your colleagues. Most of I can see the attendees, so most of them are themselves like few of them are owners, CEOs, and at great positions, CXOs. I am really happy, and I believe we'll have a great participation from India.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a question from Shrishti. John, if I can take that. Can you share more information for MSME? So Shrishti, for that, I think CECA would be a source of information, because we will help you with all the process of the schemes that the government of India provides for such exhibitions. As I believe it's shared in the email that CAMX is already enlisted in the list of scheme where you can actually take advantage of. So if you require any further knowledge on how MSMEs can benefit from the scheme, you can connect to CECA. We'll surely help you.
Right.
We are in direct talks with the MSME in Ahmedabad. So like it'd be really like we can really help you get off with the thing.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, John.
And I do want to echo your feedback as well. We at CAMX, and I speak for Carmen as well, we are absolutely thrilled that there will be a pavilion dedicated to companies located in India. In the past years, India has been not very well represented at CAMX. And I think this year, through this partnership and through this pavilion, and we hope that it will grow over time, and we just could not be more excited that we have this pavilion at CAMX this year. I think the attendees are going to be very interested in learning a little bit more about these companies that will exhibit at CAMX. I'm just incredibly excited. And I just want to thank everybody that joined us today and learned a little bit more about CAMX. And like I said, if you'd like to talk more privately about CAMX, let's schedule a call.